Only 6 people in that room knew who Bruce Lee was. The fighter standing across from him didn't. The man who arranged it didn't. The 3 bodyguards watching from the doorway didn't. And the Hong Kong crime boss sitting behind the oak desk sure as hell didn't. He was about to find out. In the next 11 minutes, the most dangerous man in Kowloon would watch his undefeated champion get taken apart by someone half his size. And the 6 people who already knew would never speak about it publicly. Not because they forgot. Because they were told not to. This is the true account of what happened on the evening of September 14, 1970. This is the fight that never officially happened. Kowloon, Hong Kong. The Peninsula Hotel, private function room on the 4th floor. Monday evening, September 14, 1970. 8:47 p.m. Outside, the neon lights of Nathan Road paint the streets pink and blue. Taxis honk. Street vendors sell fish balls and noodles on the corner of Salisbury Road. It's a warm night, 84 degrees, humid. The kind of evening where your shirt sticks to your back before you've walked half a block. Inside the Peninsula Hotel, the air conditioning hums. The 4th floor function room is not on any guest directory. No sign on the door. No number. Just a polished brass handle and 2 men standing outside it who don't look like hotel staff. The room itself is 40 feet long and 30 feet wide. Hardwood floor, polished to a mirror shine. Heavy curtains drawn across every window. 3 crystal chandeliers provide the only light, casting the room in a warm golden glow. The furniture has been pushed to the walls. Leather chairs, a mahogany desk, a bar cart with expensive whiskey. The center of the room is empty. 20 feet of open floor. Enough space for what's about to happen. There are exactly 9 people in this room. 6 who know. 3 who are about to learn. The man behind the mahogany desk is Wong Jack Man, not the martial artist. A different Wong. This Wong runs gambling operations across Kowloon. He controls 14 illegal mahjong parlors, 6 underground fighting dens, and has interests in 3 legitimate restaurants that serve as fronts. He's 54 years old, 5'6", thin, sharp eyes behind gold-rimmed glasses. He doesn't fight. He watches fights. He arranges them. He bets on them. And he has never lost a bet. Because Wong doesn't bet unless the outcome is certain. Tonight, Wong has arranged a private demonstration. Not a fight. A demonstration. That's what he calls it. He wants to see this Bruce Lee everyone keeps talking about. The movie star. The kung fu teacher who's been making noise in both Hollywood and Hong Kong. Wong has heard the stories. He doesn't believe them. Wong believes in what he can see with his own eyes. And what Wong sees right now, leaning against the far wall with his arms crossed, is his personal fighter. His champion. His proof that all the Bruce Lee stories are just that. Stories. His name is Yeung Ting Fai. They call him the Wall of Kowloon. And when you see him, you understand why. Yeung Ting Fai is 32 years old. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighs 228 pounds. In a population where the average man stands 5'7", Yeung is a giant. Not just tall, built. Shoulders like a water buffalo. Forearms thicker than most men's thighs. Hands the size of dinner plates. He was born in a fishing village in the New Territories. His father was a fisherman. His grandfather was a fisherman. Yeung was supposed to be a fisherman. But Yeung was too big for the boats and too angry for the sea. At age 9, his father sent him to a Hangga Kung Fu school in Mongkok. The Sifu took one look at the boy's size and smiled. This one was built for fighting. For 23 years, Yeung trained, every single day, before sunrise, after sunset. He mastered Hungga's iron bridge hands, the devastating Jibiwa Chui, a back fist that could crack coconuts. He learned the tiger crane form, Fu Hok Seung Ying Quen, until his horse stance could hold for 45 minutes without trembling. His Sifu said his tiger claw grip could crush a man's wrist like a dried chopstick. By age 16, Yeung was fighting in the underground dens of Mongkok. By 18, he was undefeated. By 25, he had stopped counting victories. His record, as far as anyone kept track, was 73 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws. 73 men had stood across from him. 73 men had gone down, some in seconds, some in minutes. None had lasted a full round when Yeung decided the demonstration was over. His most famous fight lasted 9 seconds. A Muay Thai fighter from Bangkok brought in specifically to test Yeung. The Thai threw a right roundhouse kick, tat, a devastating shin strike aimed at Yeung's ribs. Yeung caught the kick with his left arm, iron bridge block, stepped forward, and delivered a single gua chui to the Thai fighter's temple. 9 seconds. The Thai fighter woke up 4 minutes later. He never came back to Hong Kong. Wong paid Yeung well, not just for fighting, for being available, for being loyal, for being the kind of man that made other men reconsider their decisions. Yeung was Wong's insurance policy, his reputation, his guarantee that business disputes ended favorably. In 12 years working for Wong, Yeung had never lost. Not once. Not even close. But Yeung's greatest asset was not his size, not his power, not his iron bridge training or his 73 victories. Yeung's greatest asset was his absolute, unshakable confidence that he was the most dangerous man in any room he entered. This confidence had been earned through 2 decades of victory. It had been reinforced by every opponent who fell. It had hardened into certainty. And certainty, when it meets the unexpected, is the most dangerous weakness a fighter can have. Wong had heard about Bruce Lee from his nephew, who worked in the Hong Kong film industry. The nephew said Bruce Lee was the real thing, that his speed was inhuman, that he had defeated challengers in America, in Hong Kong, on film sets, in back rooms. Wong listened politely. Then he laughed. Movie fighters, actors, choreography. He had seen plenty of kung fu movies, men flying through the air on wires, spinning kicks that would get you killed in a real fight. Wong wanted to see what happened when a movie star met a real fighter. His real fighter. The invitation had been delivered to Bruce Lee through a mutual contact, a businessman named Chen Wei who knew both Wong and Bruce's father. The message was simple: a private gathering, a friendly demonstration, an opportunity for Yeung Ting Fai, an accomplished Hung Ga practitioner, to exchange techniques with Mr. Lee. No audience, no cameras, just martial artists sharing knowledge. Bruce almost said no. He was busy. He was filming The Big Boss. His schedule was brutal. 14-hour days on set, then private training sessions at night. But something in the invitation intrigued him. Hung Ga. Bruce had studied Hung Ga's principles. He respected the system, its iron bridge training, its emphasis on structure and power. He saw an opportunity to test his theories against a traditional Southern style in a controlled setting. Linda, his wife, didn't know about this meeting. Neither did his studio. Bruce told only one person, Dan Inosanto, who was visiting Hong Kong at the time. Dan tried to talk him out of it. You don't know this guy. You don't know what you're walking into. These underground types don't play by rules. Bruce listened to Dan's concerns. Then he put on a black cotton shirt, black trousers, and his white Onitsuka tiger shoes. Let's go, he said. It's just a demonstration. They arrived at the Peninsula Hotel at 8:40 p.m. The lobby was grand. Marble floors, gold columns, the smell of expensive perfume and cigar smoke. A man in a dark suit met them at the elevator. 4th floor. They rode up in silence. The hallway was quiet. Thick carpet absorbed their footsteps. The man in the dark suit knocked twice on the unmarked door. It opened from inside. Bruce Lee walked into the room. Dan Inosanto followed. The door closed behind them. The first thing Bruce saw was the open floor space, 20 feet of polished hardwood. The second thing he saw was Yeung Ting Fai, standing against the far wall, arms crossed, 228 pounds of Hung Ga muscle. Bruce was 5'7". He weighed 138 pounds. Yeung had 6 inches and 90 pounds on him. The size difference was impossible to ignore. It was the first thing everyone in the room registered, including Wong, who smiled from behind his desk, including the 3 bodyguards by the door, who exchanged glances, including Dan Inosanto, who leaned close to Bruce and whispered one word. Careful. Wong stood from behind his desk, welcomed them in Cantonese, offered drinks. Bruce declined politely. Dan accepted water. Wong made introductions. This is Yeung Ting Fai, my personal martial arts consultant. 73 professional victories. Hung Ga master. Yeung nodded. He didn't extend his hand. He studied Bruce the way a cat studies a mouse. Small, light, fast-looking maybe, but small. Wong continued. I've heard impressive things about you, Mr. Lee. Your films, your demonstrations. Very impressive. Very entertaining. The word entertaining hung in the air. Bruce heard the dismissal in it, the suggestion that what he did was performance, not real. Yeung spoke for the first time. His voice was deep, Cantonese with a new territory's accent. I've seen your television show, The Green Hornet. Very fast hands. He paused. But television isn't fighting. The 6 people in the room who knew Bruce Lee's reputation held their breath. 2 of them were martial artists who had witnessed Bruce's private demonstrations. One was a Hong Kong film producer who had seen Bruce handle 3 challengers on a movie set in a single afternoon. Dan Inosanto had trained with Bruce for 6 years. He knew what Yeung didn't. These 6 people knew exactly what was about to happen. They also knew there was no point warning Yeung. Wong clapped his hands once. Gentlemen, shall we begin? Just a friendly demonstration. Show each other your techniques. No hard feelings, no matter the outcome. Bruce nodded. Yeung pushed off the wall and walked to the center of the room. Bruce followed. They stood 8 feet apart on the polished hardwood floor. Yeung settled into a deep horse stance, Sei Ping Ma, the foundation of Hung Ga. His weight dropped. His center of gravity lowered. His fists chambered at his hips. His back was straight as iron. He looked like a fortress, immovable, permanent, built to withstand anything. Bruce stood naturally, no deep stance, feet slightly apart, weight on the balls of his feet, centered, mobile. His lead hand was up, open, relaxed, his rear hand near his chest. To the Hung Ga practitioners in the room, it looked like nothing. No form, no structure, no system. Yeung saw a man standing casually with his hands up. He saw an opening everywhere. He saw an easy demonstration. Wong raised his hand. Begin. Yeung moved first. He was faster than he looked. A man that size shouldn't move that quickly, but 23 years of training had made his body efficient. He stepped forward with a straight punch. Yat Ji Chung Kuen, a Hung Ga power strike delivered from the horse stance. The punch was aimed at Bruce's solar plexus. Full power, full commitment. Traditional Hung Ga. Drive through the target. Bruce shifted 4 inches to the right. That's all. 4 inches. Yeung's fist passed through the space where Bruce's body had been a quarter second earlier. Yeung recovered, reset his stance. He wasn't concerned. First exchange, feeling each other out. He attacked again. Gua Chui, the back fist that had ended 9-second fights, aimed at Bruce's temple, a technique that had knocked out men 50 pounds heavier than Bruce Lee, a technique that had never been blocked in 73 fights. Bruce ducked 3 inches. The fist passed over his head close enough to disturb his hair. Bruce didn't counterattack. He straightened up, looked at Yeung, waited. The room was silent. Wong leaned forward in his chair. The bodyguard stopped shifting. Yeung attacked a 3rd time. Combination. Right punch, left punch, right low kick aimed at Bruce's lead leg. Standard Hung Ga combination. Power on every strike. Each technique capable of ending the demonstration if it landed. Bruce moved through the combination like smoke through a chain-link fence. Under the 1st punch. Outside the 2nd. His lead leg simply wasn't there when the kick arrived. He had pulled it back 6 inches, let the kick pass, and replaced it. Yeung hit nothing but air. 3 techniques, 3 misses, 0 contact. Now Yeung was confused. His face showed it. Forehead tight, jaw set. He had never thrown 3 clean techniques at an opponent without landing at least one. His Hung Ga was precise, powerful, proven 73 times. And this small man in street clothes was making it look like he was punching at shadows. Yeung changed strategy. He moved forward. Aggressive. Closing distance. Trying to get inside, use his size, his weight, his iron bridge arms to trap and control. He threw a double grab, a technique designed to seize the opponent's arms and pull them into a knee strike or headbutt. His dinner plate hands reached for Bruce's wrists. Bruce's hands moved. Pak Sao, a slapping block with the left hand. Lop Sao, a pulling deflection with the right. Yeung's grab was redirected. His own momentum pulled him 2 inches past Bruce's center line. And in that moment of imbalance, Bruce's right hand shot forward. Straight punch. Jik Chung Chui, aimed at the center of Yeung's face. It stopped half an inch from the bridge of Yeung's nose. The room froze. Yeung's eyes crossed, looking at the fist hovering in front of his face. He felt the wind of it, felt the air pressure change, felt the certainty of what would have happened if that fist had traveled 1 more centimeter. Bruce held the position for 2 seconds, then withdrew his hand, stepped back, waited. The message was clear. I could have. I chose not to. Yeung's face went red. Not embarrassment. Rage. 23 years of training. 73 victories. And this movie actor just put a fist a half inch from his face like he was teaching a child. Yeung abandoned technique, abandoned form, abandoned 23 years of Hung Ga discipline. He charged. Full speed. 228 pounds of fury aimed directly at Bruce Lee. What happened next took 3 seconds. Witnesses would later disagree on the exact sequence because it happened too fast for the human eye to process clearly. But the 6 people who knew Bruce Lee's capabilities agreed on the essential facts. Yeung lunged with a wild right hand. Bruce intercepted the arm at the wrist with his left hand. Pak Sao. Simultaneous with the interception, Bruce's right hand delivered a straight blast to Yeung's sternum. Not full power, maybe 50%. But 50% of Bruce Lee's straight punch at close range was enough to stop 228 pounds of forward momentum dead. Yeung's feet left the ground for an instant. His body folded slightly at the waist. The air left his lungs in a single forced exhale. Before Yeung could recover his breath, Bruce's lead leg swept forward. A low side kick, juk tek, to the inside of Yeung's lead knee. Not enough force to injure. Enough to buckle the leg. Enough to drop him. Yeung's left knee hit the hardwood floor. He was kneeling, gasping, and Bruce Lee's right hand was positioned precisely 1 inch from Yeung's throat. Open hand. Bil Ji, the thrusting fingers strike that targets the windpipe. The killing technique of Wing Chun, held perfectly still. The room was silent. Not the kind of silence that follows a loud noise, the kind of silence that follows the impossible. 3 seconds. The fight had lasted 3 seconds from Yeung's charge to Yeung's knees hitting the floor. 228 pounds, 73 victories, 23 years of Hung Ga mastery. And he was kneeling in front of a man who weighed 138 pounds with a finger strike hovering at his throat. Bruce held the position for 4 seconds, long enough for Yeung to understand, long enough for Wong to understand, long enough for every person in that room to register what they had just witnessed. Then Bruce withdrew his hand, stepped back, offered his hand to Yeung to help him up. Yeung stared at the hand. His pride, his 73 victories, his reputation as the Wall of Kowloon, all of it had just been dismantled in 3 seconds by a man 90 pounds lighter. He took Bruce's hand. Bruce pulled him to his feet easily. Wang Jok Man sat behind his desk. His gold-rimmed glasses had slipped down his nose. He didn't push them back up. He was still processing. In 12 years of watching Yeung fight, he had never seen Yeung touched, never seen Yeung drop, never seen Yeung on his knees, and he had just watched it happen faster than he could light a cigarette. Bruce spoke first. "Your Hung Ga foundation is excellent. Your iron bridge training is some of the best I've seen. Your horse stance is immovable." Yeung looked at him, waiting for the insult, the mockery. It didn't come. "But you're fighting the system, not the moment," Bruce continued. "You're executing forms, following patterns. Your body knows what to do, but it does it in order, in sequence, the way you were taught. A real fighter doesn't follow sequence. He responds to what's in front of him. You telegraph everything, not because your technique is bad, because your system requires preparation before execution." Yeung was quiet for a long time. Then he asked the question that changed his life. "What do you call your system?" "I don't have a system," Bruce said. "That's the point. I call it Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. But even that name is too much. The moment you name it, you limit it. You were fighting Hung Ga. I wasn't fighting anything. I was responding. Water doesn't fight the rock. It flows around it." Wong interrupted. "Very impressive, Mr. Lee. Very impressive." He removed his glasses, cleaned them, put them back on. His voice had changed. The dismissiveness was gone, replaced by something Bruce recognized. Respect. Not the kind earned through credentials or reputation, the kind earned in 3 seconds on a hardwood floor. Bruce and Dan left the Peninsula Hotel at 9:38 p.m., 51 minutes after they arrived. They walked down Nathan Road in silence for 2 blocks. Dan spoke first. "That was the fastest I've ever seen you end it." Bruce didn't respond immediately. He was thinking. When he spoke, his voice was quiet. He wasn't trying to hurt me. He was trying to prove something. To his boss. To himself. That's why he lost. He was fighting for someone else's expectations, not for himself. The moment you fight for ego, for pride, for approval, you've already lost. You're carrying weight that isn't yours. They walked another block. Dan asked, "Will Wong cause trouble?" Bruce shook his head. "No. Men like Wong respect results. He just saw the result." Dan considered this. "And Yeung?" Bruce was quiet again. Then, "Yeung will either be angry forever or curious forever. If he's angry, he'll tell himself I got lucky. He'll go back to his Hung Ga, train harder, and never grow. If he's curious, he'll find me, and I'll teach him." Yeung found him. 3 weeks later, he showed up at Bruce's temporary training space in Kowloon, Tong. No appointment, no introduction. Just knocked on the door at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Bruce opened the door, saw the wall of Kowloon standing there, 228 pounds, in training clothes. Yeung bowed. "I'm curious," he said. Bruce smiled. "Come in." For 7 months, whenever Bruce was in Hong Kong between film shoots, Yeung trained with him. He learned trapping. He learned centerline theory. He learned to abandon the rigid horse stance for mobile footwork. He didn't abandon Hung Ga. Bruce wouldn't let him. "Keep your foundation," Bruce told him. "Your iron bridge is a weapon. Your tiger claw is real power. But let them serve you. Don't serve them. Let the technique come when it's needed, not when the form says it should." Yeung Ting Fai stopped fighting for Wong in 1972. He opened a small martial arts school in Sim Sha Tsui. He taught a blend of Hung Ga and Jeet Kune Do principles. He never called it Jeet Kune Do out of respect for Bruce. He called it simply practical kung fu. He told every new student the same story. The story of the night he met Bruce Lee. The night 73 victories meant nothing. The night the wall of Kowloon knelt on a hardwood floor and learned that size, power, and a perfect record can't protect you from someone who has no system for you to defeat. Wong never spoke about that evening. Not once. He told the 3 bodyguards to forget what they saw. They didn't forget. Nobody forgets watching the impossible. But they kept quiet. Dan Inosanto mentioned the event only in passing, years later, in private conversations with trusted students. He said it was one of the purest demonstrations of Jeet Kune Do he ever witnessed. Not because of the technique, because of the efficiency. 3 seconds, no wasted movement, no ego, no performance, just the truth of combat expressed in its simplest form. Bruce Lee died 3 years later, July 20th, 1973. He was 32 years old. The world mourned the movie star. The martial arts world mourned the philosopher. But in a small training hall in Simsha Tsui, Yeung Ting Fai mourned the man who taught him that the greatest strength isn't in your fists. It's in your willingness to let go of everything you think you know. 6 people in that room knew. 3 learned. 1 knelt. And 1 taught the lesson he always taught. Be water. Don't fight the shape of the container. Become it. September 14th, 1970. The Peninsula Hotel. 4th floor. The fight that lasted 3 seconds. The lesson that lasted a lifetime.